Yes, sir. What it is. We are back, baby. It is another beautiful sunny Saturday.
Yes, it is.
In Hollywood, California.
322.
Happy
Yesterday.
belated. Come on. I knew that's where he was going. We gotta
come on, dog.
We gotta show my guy some love, man. Happy birthday.
Yo, I appreciate that.
SCS, man.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Love,
yes, sir.
Love, prosperity. Happy Earth Day. You know, I appreciate you for being here with us, exploring our thoughts and exploring the narratives of today and tomorrow.
Yes, sir. To start, I mean, of course, I'm your boy, Dusty P. We've got our guy here.
SCSJR.
Who else?
Big Chris just picks my baby on the 3s and 4s.
In the cockpit. The cockpit looked fly too. I was like, when I was going through the last video, I'm like, that look, I'm a little jealous of that angle, man. That thing look kind of hot.
That boy got that cockpit angle for sure.
We also got friend of the pod with us.
The captain.
Yes, man. I just call me Mr. Chris.
Yeah, Mr. Chris. Big
Unk, baby. That's Big Unk. Big Spizzers.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Nah. So tell me about your.
Love to have him back too.
Tell
man.
me how your birthday was, real quick, man. I know I came in here this morning. I see the joint all on the floor. I'm like, it looks like a lituation in here.
Yeah,
it looks
man.
like it was a lituation.
Streamers are everywhere.
It was a great day to fellowship and appreciate my loved ones who appreciate me and I appreciate them. It was definitely a day to just sit back and relax and just be in my moment.
Yeah.
Right? Be in my moment, be in my shoes. You know, and yeah, man, Big Unk came through, my partners came through, my woman was with me. I'm within my kingdom, and I'm just excited that today is here to be able to express how I feel, you know, and that's what I'm gonna continue to do day after day, is express how I feel within my kingdom.
Yeah. That's good, man. That's a beautiful thing, man, to be able to, especially just to be able to have it be, I think as long as you're doing what you want with the people that you want, like around you, like what more can you ask for? You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing. I'm still trying to figure out what the situation is going to be for my B-Day. That's coming up in like 3 weeks, April 8th.
April 8th, you Aries too?
Yeah, 2 weeks, yeah.
Damn!
That's
what
crazy.
I'm saying.
That is crazy. C Mills is 4-4,
must
right?
be solid people, bro.
Wow.
Because everybody hang around is Aries, bro.
Yeah. Mom Duke's
Both of my
Aries.
best friends,
Yeah.
Aries. My brother Aries. Y'all two Aries.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm that father sign, that Libra baby.
Libra.
That's that balance.
My mom is a Libra.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Big
my mom Duke's Aries. I see. It's interesting too, especially like as I get older, I see I'm like, I understand it now. Like, you feel me? There are a lot of things about like the way that she raised me, or the way, you know, we talk about like the fire signs, or like sometimes what I may deem as like the hard-headedness, or like the like kind of like those leadership qualities that like now as I'm an adult and I'm like moving around in the world and I'm like just seeing like how much I'm like, okay, it all makes sense. And you know, when the parents say that to you too, it's like, you don't get it when you're older, like you'll get it when you're older.
Exactly.
But right now, just listen to what I'm saying.
Exactly.
And now I'm like, there's these moments I have where I go back and I'm like, damn, she was right.
What's your birthday?
April 8th.
April 8th.
Yeah.
Aries. So March 28th is what?
Aries as well, right?
March,
because it starts
March 21st starts Aries.
Yeah.
Oh wow. My mom, rest in pieces. Aries was Aries.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Grandma.
Aries are beautiful people, man.
Big ups to grandma.
Aries are beautiful people.
So going back to last week's topic about birthdays, right? So what have you decided to, or how have you decided to celebrate your day? Will it be a day? Will it be a weekend, a week, a month?
For me, it's gonna be a day. For me, it usually is a day or a weekend at most. If it's like, if I can, like I will do, it's like, hey, like Saturday do this, Sunday do that. Mostly just so I can, if I want to make sure I get to celebrate like with all the people that I want. So like maybe I'll be like, all right, this friends, we're doing a thing on this day where I'm going out, we turning up. Then it's like family, like on this day where it's like a little more like love, it's like family and things like that. So it's really about just as long as I get to like, all right, let me celebrate with the people that I want.
The circle.
Across like those.
That's right. Inner circle.
Yeah, exactly. Smooth. So to get into it, we got a couple things to chop it up about today. First thing is one that I am extremely excited about. When I was just scrolling through my Twitter, and I saw the tweet that Miss Fat Belly Bella, aka Erykah Badu,
What?
is dropping an album
No, she not.
for the first time in 15 years.
What? Erykah Badu is dropping
Erykah
an
Badu
album.
dropping an
Let's
album
go.
in 15 years. Now, Erykah, I
need that.
I lied to you. Erykah is one of those artists. I don't know if there's that many, how many of these artists like fit into that category, but one of those artists that I literally cannot tell you a bad song that she's made.
Sade is in that category.
I was thinking Sade as well.
Sade is in that category.
Sade, Anita Baker.
Mm-hmm.
These people's names transcends the test of time.
Yeah. The old school, but that's interesting, right? How Erykah
Natural
Badu,
composers.
yeah, right. And it's interesting that Erykah Badu is like one of those newer souls, in that she's not as old as Anita Baker, but like she has that essence of like the old school, right? And like even I think even in her voice and just like it's not even like, you know, you have these singers who like do a lot of like the vocal gymnastics, right? And it's like the runs, and it's like, you know, you say like this like very, you can listen to someone and say, all right, like technically like that is a good singer. They know what to do with their voice and how to do. And she's like an amazing singer, but like I love that it doesn't, like that's not where her like it leans on. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's just like this, it's just like this soul in the way that her voice sounds, the way that she pronounces her words. It's like a
spirit shows up.
Yeah.
She's got the right seasoning on her package. Because
Mm-hmm.
without the right seasoning, it don't taste good. Because Erykah, she's still fine. Fine as two glasses of wine. Baby.
Listen,
Straight up.
Two glasses.
Yeah.
2 glasses of
Goddamn.
wine.
And I don't want to sound facetious or disrespectful, but if I was ever in walking space, I got something to say.
I got something to say too, bro. Shit.
What's
The
your line?
uncle and the nephew.
All right, Erykah Badu, she walk in this store right now to grab a cup of coffee.
Right now.
Oh,
And
I'm
you-
going.
what you saying?
I'm gonna say excuse me, and then but when I see it, I'm gonna ask God first. Give me what I need, right? Then I'm gonna hesitate for a second, let the download come.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna look her straight in the eye and tell her what the spirit through my man needs to say to her. Not being facetious. I got a couple compliments, you know what I mean, from a man's own. You know what I mean, real smooth. You know what I mean, nothing. Like I say, nothing overreaching, nothing disrespectful, nothing with expectations. Just when you see a man is driven by what? Sight first. So I might describe that. Get close. Damn, it smells good. Man, shake the hand. It's soft.
You heard the audible sniff.
Hilarious.
She's a beautiful girl. She's
She
got her
gonna know I
own
sniffed
fashion
you.
style, which is very good. But we as men, got to understand that when woman was created, all 5 of our senses was attached to her creation. Look, smell, touch, sound. And, again, not trying to be, too twisted with it, but taste. You know what I mean? And I might have to ask her for a little sample. You did? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, he not.
He talking that riff,
Nah, but
He ain't
definitely
playing.
for sure. I think she's one of those like what they call a unicorn, right? Where it's just like this is somebody who you can't find like many who are like her, or even who can like emulate. I feel like her style, right? I feel like I don't think there's many artists that can like fit in that bucket, or that can like copy paste like we tend to see with like a lot of good artists.
Oh, no,
right? Like I think of like a
100%
Janae Aiko.
original.
There's like a lot of like, what they call like the whisper singing, where like a lot of the newer artists like started to sound like that. But like Erykah, I'm like, there's like, you just don't
There's
have
no
that.
replicating that.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Like Gil Scott. That soul comes out.
Yeah.
Got something to say to her too if I ever was in walking space.
And I'm also hyped about the fact that the Alchemist is producing the whole thing. I want to talk about him a little bit, because the Alchemist is I think it's like mind blowing how well he's been able to just like transcend the different generations of hip hop. Like we're talking about somebody who was making classics like with the Mobb Deeps, you know what I mean? He's with Prodigy and Havoc, and like even like way back in like the early, we're talking the 90s, early 2000s, doing that to when the internet popped off and he started getting with like the Tyler the Creators and things like that, to most recently he just like dropped an album with 2 Chainz. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like it's this range, this variety of different artists, but it's always like he's able to like stay him and still be this active and like this popular. He's still winning Grammys, Freddie Gibbs projects and things like that, and winning Grammys, where you have like the other super producers who were from that time, like say like a Timbaland, or like a Swiss Beats, who like you don't really see that happening with. You know what I mean? And so I just think that's like super impressive, and I'm just like expecting nothing short of a masterpiece with this album. I think when you take like the soulful production of like what Alchemist does, and like the still like that hip hop flair with what like Erykah, like they said, the seasoning that she's gonna be able to put on there, I think it's gonna be absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, that's gonna be a great collab. I look forward to listening to it, and you know, playing it inside of Open LA store.
Oh yeah. Setting the vibes.
Straight up.
I'd like to really get into what lyrics she's gonna bring forth from 15 years of who she was then to who she is now, and accompanied with all the different events that has happened between 15 years and today. You know, because she's a very wise lady. Yeah. You know, and her music is very soothing to the soul. And so I'll be more or less, you know, I can't wait to listen to those lyrics that she's gonna come with.
I agree. Because you know she coming with that heat. She coming with that nurturing.
No doubt.
She's gonna come with that nurturing essence.
Yeah. And she speaks on the times too, right? That's the thing, right? She always like, she was very word about like being in her blackness and like speaking
Mother
on
soul.
the times. Yeah, so much has happened, and like the world is just a completely different place than it was 15 years ago. So to your point, yeah, I think that's
singing activist. She gonna say what she need to say in a way that you can have no other choice but to accept it.
Time for
that's
healing.
How smooth she is.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be very, very, very healing time. Smooth. All right.
What was your favorite Erykah Badu album before we jump off?
Favorite Erykah Badu album?
I would say New America. New America. Fire.
Now, for me, I think it's gonna be Mama's Gun.
Mama's Gun?
Yeah.
That was her first joint, right? Her debut album.
Yep. Because I think when I think of like the Bag Lady, Didn't You Know? Like that was, you know what I mean? That's like, when I think
Badu.
her, like 90s. My brain goes right there.
The 90s. Unc was infamous in the 90s.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, cool. So to get into, we're gonna go staying in the world of music, but shifting gears a little bit. I do want to talk about Kanye. Right?
Is that music?
So have you?
Is Kanye music right now?
World,
that nigga political.
That's a good point.
I mean, but it's still synonymous with music.
Yeah, staying in the world of musicians, we'll say. Right. Maybe that's the better way to put it. Staying in the world of
Kanye
musicians.
Done crossed over 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Okay, I don't know what industry the kid is in.
So right now the man's on a ramp, and as he does, right? This happens. He gets on Twitter, he starts saying a lot of things, right? There was like all the stuff with him and the Jews, you know, that was happening, and like saying all them like kind of anti-Semitic rhetoric and stuff like that. But in this wave now, he's actually like
wait. Is he really saying anti-Semitic, or is that what the propaganda is saying that's happening? Because from my perspective, he's speaking his mind. He's speaking a consciousness that has been suppressed. And now that we have a new president in office and the swamp is being drained, it's something called free speech, meaning speak your mind, say how you feel, and not be persecuted off of your thoughts, right? And we've been in such a test tube for the past, you know, I've been alive for the past 3.5 decades, so that's what I'm gonna speak on. You know, during the last 3 decades, we've been suppressed mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I feel like he's letting us all know that there's no top on us. There's no cap. You know, it's the lid is off. Express yourself. Do what's instinctively inside of you, and don't be afraid to be you and express yourself. Okay? Whether one group feels one way or another group feels another, say how you feel.
No, and I definitely hear that. And I think with Kanye, it's a blend of like he says things that make sense, but he also, a lot of it, he is like he can go off the wall. Like the man's literally like walking around with swastikas like on his shirt. You know what I'm saying? Freedom of speech is this freedom of speech without persecution, right? I 100% believe in that. You have the right to say what you want, and we say without persecution, meaning like legally, it is not against the law to say what's on your mind. However, when we talk about persecution of like, hey, if I feel like what you're saying is wrong, or I feel like what you're saying is harmful or incendiary, you're not free from that persecution, right? I think that's like totally fine, right? So case in point, his one of the recent tweets that like, you know, making this conversation come up again. He tweets, wait, has anyone ever seen Jay-Z and Beyonce's younger kids? They're retarded. No, like literally. This is why artificial insemination is such a blessing. Having retarded children is a choice. So then that, like, it goes crazy. All these things happen or whatever. He ends up taking the tweet down. And after he takes it down, he says, I need everyone to know that I took the post about Jay-Z and Beyonce's family down and Jerry Lorenzo's family down because there's a possibility of my Twitter being canceled, not because I'm a good person. I took it down like Down syndrome. Get it? Am I right? Fuck the world. Real talk.
Damn.
Fuck everybody. You feel me?
Whoa.
So granted, I understand freedom of speech, like we said, but like, where's the line if we're just like, is it okay that he's just calling unprovoked, just calling someone's kids?
That's a little overboard.
It's like, where are we now?
It's more to that. It's like you have somebody in Alaska talking about open. And then you have someone that's inside of open talking about open. It's two different perspectives. Which one is more valid, or not even necessarily which one is more valid, but which one is valid? They're both valid because it's two different perspectives. It's a perspective about open from Alaska, and it's a perspective about open being with inside of open. We got to understand who Kanye West is. He's a producer. A producer is somebody that sit around artists all day and they pick whatever quality, whatever nuance, whatever, and they put things together. So he's been around the industry. He's been around the people within the industry, just sitting in the room, just around a table and just brainstorming. So he knows things that we couldn't even imagine. He's seeing things that we couldn't even imagine. So what I do is when people speak, I practice empathy, where I put myself in that person's shoes and I say to myself, what is this person conveying to me? Right? What is this person saying? Right? And it's fucking interesting every time he go on these rants, because it's just like loads of information. He'll say one paragraph, and it not even one paragraph. He'll say a sentence, and in that sentence, it's packed with information. And I feel like a motherfucker got to low key decode it. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like there was a time where that was the case, right? And I think that's the thing that's like depressing to see about Kanye, is knowing how much of like a thinker he is, right? Where everything that you're saying applies. But I just feel like over time, whether, I don't know, like I genuinely am like concerned and wondering, like, is Kanye okay? Because I feel like I've just seen the spiral like go down and down and down the rabbit hole, where to the point where like I feel like he's not, it's like he's doing it on purpose. Like, yo, I'm just, okay, it's my time to I just feel like lighting the internet up on fire. So I'm gonna do these things. I'm gonna say these things. He's literally saying, yo, I'm not a good person. Like, I'm saying, this is how I feel. Fuck everybody, fuck y'all. I think his kids are shit. And like, it's like, and that's all there is. Like, there's nothing to decode there. This is just how Kanye feels right now. And he has the freedom to say that. And if that's how he feels, if that's what he thinks genuinely, then cool. He can think that, he can feel that. And as a human being on this world and in America, he has the right to outwardly voice that or type it and post it up where he wants. But with that being said, the persecution, even if not legally, like you have to check certain things, right? And I feel like that's
Kanye.
one of those things that needs to be checked.
Kanye, this is Forever Open Radio, Dusty P, SCSJR, Mr. Chris, Just Chris, my baby. Come down to Forever Open Radio, man. Let's have a conversation, bro. Because I feel like it's time to speak. And you're speaking. Mm-hmm. So let's all speak.
And that's right, because I like to ask a couple questions. I think that the First Amendment, the right to, got the freedom of speech. That's one component. Now, dealing with a personality that has as much physical and input type of attention, people saying things, looking at you, pictures, paparazzis, and, the big stage where thousands and thousands of people. So you got a lot to unpack. You have a lot of layers there because remember we said last week that if you put too much sugar in the cornflakes, you'll ruin them. And then you can say anything if it's said right. Then some subjects are sensitive and they still have to be discussed. So I think the crux of the subject matter here is not just Kanye, because what is he? He's just another man that has found his niche in life. He found out what the spirits gave him to do, and he's doing it. Now, is he exposed to too much to the point where his ability to discern, his ability to equate, to add, subtract, is his emotional IQ still at the right level? Because when you become emotional, you lose the benefit of your intellect. So then you want to say things about a man's child, which as a father, that's a no-fly zone. Because they say sticks and stones will break the bones, words is not supposed to hurt. But when it comes to the protection of our children, our family, our kingdom, this is when we start to have an issue with that particular item. However, I would also say that, remember, and this is what I think that I've been looking at in my 6 decades of being on this earth, I think there's just a little too much value put on one person that has really done nothing but sung a song and made some clothes. They're not making fresh water. They're not creating electricity, free energy, those life-sustaining things. So how much attention, how much importance are we assigning to him? Because what Steph just said is 100% on point. He's been exposed to things on a level that none of us could really picture in our mind or formulate in our mind in those boardrooms where we're talking about that check. And then when you see who's the ones that are signing those checks, and you see why they sign them or why they don't sign them or the conditions to sign them, that's what I think he's speaking to, because when he see the disparity between one group to another, rap or R&B or country or hard rock or whatever, he sees the disparity of those that write the checks. So now we have to go to the bigger shelf. Who are those writing those checks?
No, and I understand. I don't think, and so that's just to clarify, that's not the part that I'm like against. Like, you know what I mean? I think that's when I say like he says a mix of things that make sense than these incendiary things that like distract from the point. I think that's like where the issue becomes, where it gets hard for like when he is making sense, when he is right, it gets hard for people to like want to listen and like accept what he's saying, because like the other stuff that comes attached to it, where that makes it hard to like champion him as a person. Absolutely. Because of these other things.
Because like I said, you cannot be on a value level of conversation, output, opinions, of trying to offer your thoughts, some of the things you've been through, then turn around and go to the lowest shelf there is and speak on negatively of someone's child, no matter what you think about the parents, because he's not supposed to put a dark cloud over a baby.
No, 100%. And so moving forward,
on one thing before we did. So Ye is a conglomerate. Excuse me, is not Kanye, is Ye. Excuse me, Ye. But Kanye is a conglomerate. And if you look at these conglomerates, you look at these corporations, they come up with these businesses, they come up with these propaganda campaigns, and they don't get penalized. You know, they bringing up the pharmaceuticals, they're literally killing the people, and nothing is said about these people. They come out with these movies, they come out with these subtitles, and it's all anti-life. And you know, TMZ is reporting on, you know, fake news and but nothing is said about them. But here is Ye as a conglomerate, as a corporation. He's his own media source, meaning that it's clickbait at the end of the day. It's clickbait. Not everything is actually what it appears to be. He's just maybe getting a reaction. He's just maybe.
That don't make it okay though.
But we're not talking about virtue. We're not talking about morale, because nothing that's happening in this world, majority, the wars isn't okay, but we're not talking about that. You know what I'm saying? What they did to Yemen, what they did to Gaza, right? We're not talking about what they did to New Orleans, what they did to the people of America. You know what I'm saying? But we're not talking about that though, right? And that's what's not right, is that we're still paying for water. We're still paying for a roof over our head. We're still paying to have to eat food, right? That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not right. Kanye speaking his mind and wearing geometry, sacred symbols that was here before our minds was here, right? That don't matter. What matters is us waking up, being able to take care of our kids, take care of ourselves and our civilization. That's what matters.
I think there are big problems, there are small problems, and in the context of what you're saying, I think we look at the smaller problems are what end up getting highlighted a lot more than the bigger problems,
not even
the human, the issues. Not to say that he's problematic. This is what I would say. He's problematic is the thing. And so
why is he problematic though?
I think even I don't even think it doesn't even need to be over complicated. I would just say even as simple as the tweet that we're talking about, to call someone's kids that's problematic. We can agree you just shouldn't do that, right? That's the thing. Can we I understand everything we're trying to say about Kanye,
I don't want to say
that's
you
what we're
shouldn't
talking
do
about.
it, but it becomes why. Why did he do what he did? I would like to know why, but because I feel like he did it for a reason.
And maybe he did, but that doesn't make the. It's not. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. It doesn't. His reasons why, or his need to, or his fraudulent slip. He said something that he didn't really mean. I think that the word we're looking for, in terms of men and women that have a public presence on the level that he does, is one word, and that's you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility.
The ability to respond.
No, you have a responsibility that whatever you offer the populace has got to remain on a very sacred and narrow down a corridor. You don't have the ability to become so emotional or so opinionated that you start to contaminate the elements to create your responsibility. Because then you got to be accountable. Because now we're talking about his accountability, even as a conglomerate. That's why you have problems with the DEI, with Target and Walmart. And we have all these different grievances because you have a responsibility to market your goods, your ideas, your songs, your wares, whatever it is, your services. Along the way, and then you become successful. Your responsibility go from 1 to a 6 to an 8 to a 10. So when you reach a 10, that means that you're touching more people's lives, because everyone has a right, an inalienable right, to think in their individual self and represent it to the fullest. However, the issue becomes, and as we peel back the layer of this onion, that your responsibility has to have another component called accountability. And below it, you have what they call resiliency. So within that responsibility into resiliency that's where the quake is, because when he starts to fracture, looks like he fractures, and he starts to act and do things that we don't agree with. Steph just said it, that we don't understand right now in his private moments, what creates those dynamics that cause that fracture to the point where he would disregard his responsibility that he knows he has.
Yeah, and I think in the episode, the Legacy Talk episode we had, I remember that was one of the conversations. I think the question that was posed was does everybody, especially when you're on a platform, when you're on a famous, do you have a responsibility to like be a role model, to like conduct yourself in a way because you know the kids are watching, even though you didn't sign up for that.
Definitely
like the
have
kids
the
are
young
watching.
black kids looking at
And the answer was like yes,
For
right?
sure.
Because it's not just your kids, it's like it's like everyone's kids. I believe is what we were talking about, right? So you have a responsibility to conduct yourself a certain way because the kids are watching you. The kid, they admire you. They're gonna want to be like you. And so no matter how much of what you're saying is making sense and you're like speaking to like these things, at the same time as a person, you have to be somebody that you can say, okay, I want my kids to be like this, to speak like this, to move like this. And so that's my point, is that he's into territory now where I don't think anyone looks at how he operates in this world, the things he says and the way he talks to people, and says like, yeah, I would love for my kids to be like that and to talk to people like that.
Watch this.
You know what I mean? I think
I like this little group here because.
And then we're gonna just
I'm
gonna let you go on.
Before
we're gonna have
I just
to, like,
want
close
to
out
preface
with
this
that.
one thing, and it kind of concludes it. What you just said about responsibility. Let me ask a question about what we're talking about. Being a conglomerate, being a role model, being an example. Well, guess what? You want me to buy your shoes, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Good point. Right. So I think those are all the things to consider. I think there's. And not even just I think human beings, us as humans, we are very complex. Like you said, we're emotional. When you reach certain levels of success, you're exposed to like all these different things that are really gonna affect the way you view the world in ways that like people who haven't gotten there aren't gonna see it the same. But at the end of the day, I think it's just all in like the way that you package it. Right. And I think that, the stuff, you know what I mean?
I agree.
Not to say that he's
Packaging.
the things that he believes in, the statements that, that he makes as we're talking about the business and like all those other things are like wrong, because he makes a whole lot of sense when he says those things. But it's just, I think it's just about being more mindful of how you
say anything if it's said right.
Like you said, hey,
the way you package
it. That's how that goes. So yeah, in closing, before we get out of here, do we have any personalisms? Is there just like any last like words of wisdom or anything that we want to drop off on the people before we pop out?
Personal isms, SCSJR personal ism for the 2025 March, I would say continue. Continue. Don't stop. Don't let up. Listen to the voice that only talks to you and continue. Do not stop. Continue.
Mm-hmm. And then in my conclusion in this episode, because I would say to the listeners that's taken out the time to ingest our session, that in the future we have some very very meaningful, very deep ways to look at a lot of what goes on in society. And for me right now, I would say that caring, you have to care, because when you stop caring, you shut the window of caring. You open up the door of chaos. You open up the door of disparities, land mating. All the things that's wrong comes from the lack of service. Me first, me I, me first, me only, me my I, and my, you know what I mean. Service to others is based upon caring. And when you care, we can move forward, because when we move forward with caring, the load we're going to take with us becomes very heavy, but with caring, it becomes very light.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Continue to care.
That was deep. I want to take a word that I thought you were going to say that you were saying yesterday. Appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
That was the word of the day for Steph F's birthday yesterday, if you didn't know. Appreciate everybody around you. Appreciate the people that brought you here, and appreciate the people that do what they say they're gonna do. Men of their word, women of their word. That's the real meaning of solid. Like if I say like I'm solid, you're solid. You do what you're gonna say you're gonna do, and you're men of your word, and you appreciate the people around you. Like I appreciate my parents for bringing me into this world. I appreciate Steph Hef. I appreciate Dusty. We all do this. I appreciate you for all the wisdom you drop. I just appreciate.
Yeah.
100.
And
Nice. Continue to care, to appreciate.
And for me, mine, I would say learn yourself. Take time to learn yourself.
Big.
Right. There's one thing to know yourself, but as you move through this world, as you get older, as you get different jobs, meet new friends, you inevitably are going to change. So as much as you, spend time outwardly, just make sure to spend time inward, learn yourself, see how much of what you think you like, what you think you know is being influenced by the people around you, but like getting back to the core and making sure that you learn yourself and then you push that outward. Instead of just like absorbing too much. You feel me? So this has been another episode of Forever Open Radio. You already know what we need you to do. Apple, Spotify, 5 stars, leave a review. YouTube, drop a comment, subscribe, turn those post notifications on, like this video, like every video you watch, of course, because I know you like it while you're watching it. So you might as well just click the like button. It'll take you not even a second. You feel me? And then just tap in, man. Hit us in the DMs, email foreveropenradio@gmail.com. In the comments, just let us know what you want to hear, what other conversations, your thoughts on what we're saying and stuff like that. Just tap in with us. Forever Open Radio. Catch you next week.
West, y'all.
Peace.
Yeah.